I was in my kitchen when the notification arrived. No salutation, no identifier, only a request disguised as a reminder. The property taxes are overdue. I gazed at the screen, my thumb hesitated, the refrigerator's constant hum echoing where once my patience resided. In that instant, a feeling settled, not rage, not sorrow, but clarity born when the last delusion finally dissipates. I reacted swiftly. I rarely do when the stakes are high. We weren't always like this. There was a time when my father's voice became softer upon saying my name, when assisting him felt like loyalty rather than duty, when I perceived effort yielded fairness. I covered taxes, repaired damages, sent funds without being prompted. I convinced myself it was family. I convinced myself it was temporary. I told myself many falsehoods. My sister never contributed a penny. She didn't have to. She offered excuses instead. Fragile dreams and delicate situations made her perpetually teeter on the brink of satisfactory, a state that demanded constant financial support. At first, I didn't harbor resentment towards her. It was the hush surrounding it, the presumption of my regular contributions while hers were applauded merely for existing, that angered me. I stumbled upon the truth by chance. Truth often arrives this way, indifferent, unceremonious. A forwarded email not intended for me, wrapped in politeness and legal jargon, a trust fully established years ago under her name alone, silently, meticulously, deliberately. Calm washed over me as I read it. No trembling hands or surge of heat, just a gradual reordering of the past, every sacrifice recategorized, every "will make it fair someday," revealed as a performance. I chose not to confront him. That's where most people err. They believe justice begins with commotion. Instead, I opted for silence. I ceased to bear the expenses of the vacation home, stopped bridging the gaps, stopped being the hidden support for a property I wasn't entitled to own. It was subtle, without fanfare, just an absence. Days rolled by, then the message. The property taxes are overdue. The exclamation mark provoked me, not as intended. It underscored his expectation of my obedience, how he jumped straight to the invoice without the usual human exchange. I composed my reply thoughtfully. Calmness is a potent weapon when wielded correctly. I'm no longer subsidizing costs for assets I don't possess equity in. You'll have to manage this on your own. The ellipses appeared, vanished, reappeared. I could visualize him rereading, puzzled by the tone, waiting for my explanation or apology, a fold. None was forthcoming. The phone rang soon after. I let it ring. Strength resides in unanswered calls. When I eventually picked up, he sounded hurt, not remorseful, not ashamed. Disappointed when the machine malfunctioned. He reminded me of all he had done for me: childhood care, funding my education, making sacrifices. I listened as he recited his contributions, then asked a question. Why does she have a trust and I don't? His words faltered. That was the turning point. When he understood that I knew and this knowledge could not be undone, he claimed it was intricate, that it didn't matter, that I was overreacting. I did not retort. I did not raise my voice. I told him I was glad he had secured her future. Then I informed him I had planned for mine. I had already consulted with a lawyer, scrutinized every transaction, recorded each payment. The vacation home, my funds kept it running. Legally, it provided me leverage, not ownership, control, sufficient to withdraw without repercussion, sufficient to let events unfold naturally. A month passed and the property was put up for sale. Neglected maintenance, overdue taxes. The trust did not cover that. It wasn't intended for duty, merely for comfort. My sister phoned, enraged, charging me with abandonment and harshness. I informed her honestly and straightforwardly that I wasn't a substitute for her plans. I explained that fairness doesn't seem like a punishment when one is accustomed to privilege. Subsequently, a lengthier and softer message arrived from our father, requesting a conversation. After reading the initial line, I halted there. I didn't require more. My response was as calm as my previous one. I hope you can navigate things moving forward. I can. The message ended without a signature or emotion. Now when I contemplate betrayal, it doesn't cause pain but rather brings clarity. It is the type of lucidity that emerges from ceasing efforts to obtain love from individuals who thrive on inequity. Revenge did not appear as destruction. Instead, it manifested as withdrawal, precision, and timing. I didn't deprive them of anything. I merely ceased giving.